everybody, and welcome back to episode number 19 in our podcast, not in our podcast, not on our podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Hello everybody, and welcome back to...
Please leave the first take in as well. Please don't
welcome
edit
to the
that
podcast.
out of everyone's
welcome
lives.
to episode 19. We started now.
I don't want that to be a thing that only we experience. Please have that the start of the always professional Magic Animal Club podcast.
Never professional. Do you ever do that when you're recording? Do you ever forget like what well, you know what series you're on, but you just forget like what the intro is for the series?
Yeah, well, I always say the wrong one. I do that half the time. How many takes do I normally take to do building time intro?
Yeah.
I'm always doing that wrong. Because almost all my series, I say, hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play video. And then I say what it is. But with building time, it's welcome to building time, the show where we build in time. And
on
so I always
Friday.
get... Oh, it's a very... See, people don't realise just how difficult our job is, really. They don't understand
to say
how
words
hard
correctly.
words are to say.
Yeah. So hard sometimes.
But words are easy to say. It's just the order. Getting them in the right order is the trouble most of the time.
I always think like news reporters have kind of like a hard job because they're live. Like when we went on TV, I found speaking much harder, because it's like obviously it's live and there's so many people watching you live and you just feel like you have to say things, like on here, I mean, if we said something completely wrong, we'd laugh about it. But on TV, everything's just so serious, and especially with news and stuff, I feel like their jobs are like, they're so hard.
Yeah, but like they get used to the whole being live on TV. Like that was, when we've done like TV interviews, like that's a fun, exciting novelty. For them, it's not, especially if they're doing a daily show. Like that's their job. They do that every day, so they'd get used to that side of it, I guess. And most of them just have, they're just reading scripts anyway. They have auto cue, so it's not like they're thinking of things to say. And you've done live streams. Like why is a live stream so different?
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess not as many people watch my live streams as they do the new station. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Good point, Squid. I'm glad you brought it up.
Another valid
we
point.
never really talked about that. That might be a nice way to start, because that was like an exciting thing, wasn't it, for both of us? So I mean, I know. So if you didn't see, if you search in YouTube, like it's been re-uploaded a bunch of time, like it's Good Morning Britain, isn't it? Then like Stampy and Squid or something.
ITV.
We did an interview, but people didn't get to know what you were like before the interview, because you almost backed out, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really like doing anything like that. But Stamps kind of said, why don't you come down and do it? So, I ummed a bit, and then I just said, right, okay, I'm going to do it. And then, we went. It was terribly nerve-wracking, but I enjoyed it afterwards. It was really good. It goes so fast. Like, you don't understand. The interviews, we were there from like 6:30 in the morning, and we wasn't on until like 8, so you have like an hour and a half before just wondering, what they're going to say, what questions they're going to ask, sort of thing. But you're only on for like a couple of minutes. Well, that's only what it felt like anyway. We only asked a couple of questions.
We went on twice, didn't we? Like we went on, and then they kicked us off, and then they brought us back on again.
Yeah.
Later on. But there's something I didn't really tell you, is because obviously they wanted both of us to go on, and I asked Squid and he was like, no. And then so I kept really saying like, oh no, but they want both of us. I was like, but if you don't go, I might not be able to do it. But like, they never said that. I just wanted you to do it because I knew you would enjoy it. I knew, like, looking back on it, like when we're older, the chances are no one would want us to do an interview.
Yeah.
With us, this is, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but I feel like this is a very now thing. So I didn't want you to kind of miss the opportunity. So I didn't necessarily lie, because they asked for both of us, but they never suggested that they were going to cancel it if you didn't do it. So this is me owning up.
Well, I'm glad you did anyway, because it was, as you said, it was a good experience, and I think it was like a year ago. It was 2 years ago. I can't remember how long it's ago. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. And do you remember? I remember because the night before, because Squid was really nervous, and so we had a romantic dinner together in the hotel in London, and I was trying to like calm him down a bit, like joke around about it. So we came up with the idea of us both with like glasses, and then like every time like one of us would take our glasses off, the other one would put it on, and we just like as a secret code, so we wouldn't mention it. Just while we're talking, I'd take my glasses off. The Squid would just happen to put his on, but we try and do it naturally. So we came up with a challenge to do that. Like I knew we wouldn't actually do that because we'd have been too scared, but I just remember we found that the funniest thing in the world, and it would have been really funny though, to be fair.
Yeah. Maybe if we like went on again, like, you know, later on, like if we went on now, it wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, as Star says,
but people know the glasses thing. It might have been something to do with crossing the legs. Or maybe it was like
I know
one
it
of
was
us
some kind of secret thing that we had planned.
Yeah. Well, I think it might have been if one of us crosses our legs, the other one uncrosses. We basically have to switch. Oh, dude, I actually do regret. I know if I did it now, I would be able to do that. But at the time, I was much more nervous back then. Anyway, we kind of jumped straight into that rather than getting the pleasantries out the way. So, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, a bit warm. Bit warm this week.
Bit warm.
England have a heat wave. At the moment, it's absolutely boiling, and we moan that we don't have a summer, and then it comes, and we still moan. So that's British people for you.
Well, the problem is when we moan saying it's hot, I always get like a bunch of messages from people, you know, like I got a lot of friends who live in like Dubai or, you know, like in California and stuff who, you know, it's much hotter there, for example. But the thing is, places that are always hot, they're ready for it, you know, like everywhere's air conditioned, you know, there's shade in places, you know, they're built to be hot. England is built to be cold and rainy. So when it is hot, we're not prepared. No one's got air conditioning. You know, our windows don't open wide enough. We just melt.
Yeah, like on TV as well, there's no adverts for, you know, air conditioners or anything like that. It's always, you know, is your house insulated enough? You know, can you trap as much heat in as possible?
Double, triple glazing. Yeah. You know, maybe just set the house on fire to keep warm in the winter, you know. So we're not prepared. So when it does get hot, we just melt. So, I mean, I think I might have spoken this before, but I have like, when recording, I'm not doing it right now, but sometimes I just like soak my t-shirt in water before I start. But normally by the end of a 20-minute video, it's dry. Like that's the only way, because recording's the toughest thing. So especially when I was when I used to live with my parents, like we lived right on a main road, and my room was right next to that road. So if I open my window, you just hear traffic non-stop. So I wouldn't be able to open my window. Luckily now, like I'm at the back of the house and I'm in like a quieter place. So my only worry is people suddenly trimming their hedges or something. So otherwise I would literally melt.
Still, it's worth it. I mean, you know, you can have a bit of edge trimming for the relief of being cool. But yeah, we need air conditioners. We should really just, invest in some, just for the off chance that we might get a hot day. But they're too noisy. I've got one of them in my room and it's so loud. Like,
yeah, I got one too. It's even hard just to edit with on. But the one I got's like, it's like a water one. So you put water in it and it uses water to cool down the air and then put it back out. Okay. The thing is, it's not good enough, so you just have like a hot, moist room, which is just worse. You know, you feel like you're in the rainforest. Like it doesn't help you in any way. Like it's.
Oh, that sounds awful. I mean, I love the ones that, like, obviously the hotels one. They're nice and quiet, smooth airflow, really nice. But no, they're just terrible here. They don't sell good ones. But yeah, I'm not complaining though. It is really hot. It's supposed to be hot for the rest of the week. So me and Stamps will be dying in the video. So if you ever hear us like going, it's not because we're unhealthy. It's because we are just dying of heat exhaustion.
It's not because we're unhealthy, we're just dying. I mean, that's pretty much the definition of unhealthy there, Squid.
Oh dear. Not by our fault.
So what have you been up to this week? I've seen you talking a lot more about Pokemon Go. I mean, we won't spend too long talking about Pokemon Go, because we spoke about it a lot last week, and it's probably getting to the point where people are starting to get pretty fed up with just hearing about it all the time. But go on, give me your Pokemon adventures for this week.
Where have I been? I went to Nottingham. I met up with Ash, but like the park where we went, there was no signal. So it was like the most picturesque park you could ever imagine. It was beautiful. There was like a lake. There was like the chances to capture like every single Pokemon. Like it was just amazing. But there was no signal, so we couldn't even do it. So I drove like an hour. I think it was like just over an hour to get there. Ash drove pretty much the same sort of distance, and yeah, as I said, we got there, nothing. So it was a right waste of time, but yeah, but I've done stuff other than that. Like at my local park, there's loads of Pokestops. I've been meeting like loads of people there, and it's weird because like I've never really seen that many people in the park until this game's come out. And we went the other night, and there was like 20 people just sitting down on benches just playing Pokemon. There was nobody not playing Pokemon. There was even like a woman like in her mid-40s pushing a pram along, and she just sat down and played Pokemon. I was like, what is going on here? Like, this isn't normal. This is just not normal.
It's the exact same around me. It's really cool, though. Like, I know that, like, a lot of people have been messaging, because obviously in the last podcast, I was saying about how I don't think it's going to last for as long as people think, and I stand by that. But that's not me saying, like I'm not saying, I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing that, what it's doing. It's just the actual game part of it, which I've been not amazed with. But the thing is, I think the reason why I'm not amazed by it is the reason why it's so popular. I think if there was more of a game there, then that would turn a lot of people off. Like, I think the fact that, this 40-year-old woman, who may have never played a video game in her life is playing it, is because she can get it. It's so simple that you don't have to be a gamer to get it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's really good about it. But I'm just having so many server problems. Like, it just, half the time I get a Pokemon, it just crashes, or like I keep getting disconnected and stuff. So it's kind of, I feel like I can't even judge it yet, just because it hasn't been working enough for me to judge it fairly.
But it's got a lot of problems, but, it's only been out for, like a week or two now? And there's just that many people trying to connect. It's just, it's just, when you think about how many people's playing around your area, and then, multiply that by, how many other countries have got it right now. Yeah. It's just a lot of strain, but I don't know how they didn't foresee this happening. Surely they knew it was going to be popular. Surely they knew there was going to be a lot of people playing it. And,
they said they knew it was going to be popular, but they had no idea it was going to be as popular as it is. And I'm not blaming them for the server stuff. Like, it's annoying, but there's no one could have predicted it was going to be this big. Yeah. Like, it's beyond the Pokemon fan base now. Like, that's what sparked it. Like, there's always like the first crowd, the initial early adopters that set the trend. So they're us. They're the gamers, the nostalgic Pokemon fans, whatever. So we started it, and then it just spread to the mainstream so quick, and now it's like, more people use it than Twitter. Like, how could they predict that? Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The amount of success it has. So that's, they're going to sort that server stuff. I just want to see once I get to kind of use it properly. I mean, like, it is changing the way I live my life. Me and Squishy have gone for 2 picnics within the last few days. Happened to be next to Pokestops. Like, we went shopping yesterday around Tesco, saw someone put down a lure, rushed around to grab the rest of what we needed and charged to the park and met with the family who put down the lure. Happened to be fans of us. We had pictures with them, and we caught Pokemon together. Yeah. And then when we were leaving, there was quite like a laddie guy, the type of person that probably wouldn't normally speak to me. Was like, "Oh, you playing Pokemon, mate?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And he was like, "You got a Squirtle?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was what I started with." But then Squishy was like, "Oh, I haven't got one yet." And he's like, "There's a Squirtle always hanging around the back of Wilco. You should go there, mate." And just walked off. And like, what? Like, someone who in life I would probably never have spoke to coming up to me with a hot tip that there's a Squirtle hanging around the back of Wilco. It's just, what world are we living in now? It's crazy.
Insane.
So I am.
It's just making people approach each other a lot more. I found there's a lot more people speaking to each other, and I haven't met a person yet that's played it that ain't up for a quick chat, about what team they're on, what they've caught, is there anything good about and stuff like that. Everyone just seems so nice, and I know there's been a lot of stuff in the news, but I think it's just
Well, I predicted that. If you remember, so last week when we did the podcast, it had just come out, because it was basically essentially 2 weeks ago from when you're listening to this. And some people have been calling me psychic, because I said in that, there's going to be a bunch of stuff in the news that they're going to try and make negative about it, because they always do, that's the way they do the news. And so, that was going to come no matter what. Like, there was going to be these, the negative stories, get more views than the positive stories. So I knew that was coming. Like, I don't care about that.
There was actually something last night that happened close to my area, about half an hour. It's actually where Nicole's mum and dad live, and there were 2 kids who was tracking this Pokemon, and they ended up basically outside, I think it was, I don't know, someone's house, and these 2 guys were breaking in to the house, like trying to rob them, and these kids, since they were playing Pokemon and the camera's up, they managed to film it, and basically capture this burglary, and they help with the the crimes and everything like that, and they basically helped out with it. So it's a good story.
But the thing is, a lot of these stories, like the negative ones, you could just replace like Pokemon Go for any other app. Like people say, oh, someone got knocked over by a car because they were crossing the road getting Pokemon. It's like, wait, like how many people do that because they're texting or something? It's not.
Yeah.
Like if someone's going to use the app unresponsibly, like it's not the app's fault. It's like
it says every time you log on.
Snapchat has a thing that like you can have a setting which says how fast you're going when you take a picture, but it has a warning saying don't take a picture when you're driving. It's when you're in the passenger seat. But loads of people are having to go at like I don't know if it might be Instagram, it might be Snapchat, I don't know, but it's just one of them. The picture ones.
I think it's Snapchat. I think I know what you mean.
I think it is Snapchat, and loads of people are having to go at that, saying like it's the app's fault. It's like, no, like if someone's going to take a picture of themselves driving like that, like you can't blame the app for that person's stupidity. Like you can't, just because they were using the app. Like it's not, people will be people. Anyway, we're gonna move. That's Pokemon Go talk for this week. We might have a little bit of Pokemon Go talk next week, but then we'll settle down and talk about something else.
Do you think it's gonna be as popular, died down, or gone more popular by next week?
It will be more popular just because it'll be available in more places, and hopefully the servers will be working better. But there'll be more and more people moaning about it, and and the thing is, it's not people moaning about the app; it's moaning about everyone talking about the app. Like anything that gets this popular, like I get bored of looking through YouTube and all of the videos are Pokemon Go prank, Pokemon Go parody. Pokemon Go players are like, like it's, I get fed up. I think, I've enjoyed the time with my app while it's been working.
Yeah.
But I'm annoyed with that all being people are talking about. And I know we're doing a podcast and we're talking about it and I'm a hypocrite, but I don't care. So I think, the longer it goes, anything popular, garners hate. So I think that it'll be more popular next week, but more people will be moaning about it. That's
What's your best Pokemon?
My psychic prediction. Well, my best Pokemon I've seen is that little dragon worm thing, which is apparently like ridiculously rare, but it crashed as I was catching it. No, not the worm one that evolves into.
Dragonair.
Oh yeah, it might be Dragonair. Yeah. So I found one of them, and I'm only level 8 or something as well. Like I've hardly played. So like I found one of them and then it crashed and I was annoyed, and then I found a Meowth and I wanted to catch it and call it Stampy and take over a gym, but it crashed when I got that. So I've seen those are good Pokemon, but I haven't caught any. I got a Poliwag. I was happy because I got a Poliwag. Anyway, we're not talking about Pokemon Go anymore. We're moving on.
Okay, we'll move on.
Forcing us to. So what happened to you last Wednesday?
Pokemon Go. Last Wednesday? What do you mean last Wednesday? What happened last Wednesday?
I don't know, I'm asking you. What happened last Wednesday?
Oh, I
wanted to know what was going on. I haven't heard anything about it.
Last Wednesday? I don't know. It's a bit random. To be honest, probably my first answer. Probably Pokemon Go, mate, to be honest with you. Been recording it a lot lately. It's good. It's getting me out and about. It's getting my fitness levels up.
Tell me about a day last week
that didn't involve Pokemon Go.
Yeah, when Pokemon went rather than going. Pokemon gone.
Pokemon gone out the window. Have I played anything? Well, actually, one of the things that I was really excited about that I just recorded this morning is probably one of my favourite games, because I've been doing like quite a few episodes on it. Well, I've done loads actually. The Scrap Mechanics. But they released a new feature which is just absolutely amazing. I love it. So what you can do is you can actually save your creations now and then upload them to Steam, and then everyone can do it, and it's just a big sharing platform. So if anyone's built anything good, they can basically put it on a lift, save it, name it, upload it, and then you can re-download it if you ever want to use it again or anything like that.
That sounded like an advert. Name it, share it, upload it. Like you just sounded like you got into a song then. Technologic.
It's a Daft Punk song.
Scrap Mechanic.
It's the next parody Stamps.
Daft Punk / Scrap Mechanic. If there's ever been a more fitting combination, Daft Punk and Scrap Mechanic is. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Good collaboration. But yeah,
actually, talking about games and games you like, have you done your homework? Do you remember what the homework was, more importantly?
Not really, mate, to be honest.
You're the worst. Do you remember what the homework was?
No.
So the homework was to play a new game that you've never played before. Maybe you've accidentally done the homework. I don't.
I probably have accidentally done the homework. Let me have a quick think while you tell me what you've played.
Well, I started playing. So it's an old game. A lot of people consider it to be like the best game ever. As I've been playing on the 3DS, Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Right.
Which I don't know. Have you played that? Okay, sorry about that. As you can see, Xbox Live has just gone down halfway through the podcast. So, there's going to be just other random gameplay instead. So, whatever you're watching, enjoy.
Good old Xbox Live.
Always reliable Xbox Live. There when you need it. Sorry. Goes down when you need it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was asking you, have you played Ocarina of Time?
I think Zelda's been one of them games where I've always played it for like half an hour and then I just got bored and I just put it down.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't think I've played it since I was like, I don't know, like 13, 14. So yeah, I haven't played it in a long time. So I don't know, I might have a bit more patience now.
Well, on the 3DS version's like really upgraded and they've like improved it and, made kind of some of the puzzles a little bit easier by just making them more obvious, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's mainly just like they haven't really physically changed anything, but just with the art style, things are just clearer now. So, like, I wasn't a Zelda fan growing up. Like, I never had any Nintendo consoles. So, I played Link Between Worlds on 3DS, and it's probably in, like, my top 10 games of all time now. Like, I loved it. And so I've just been like trying to go back and play all of the old ones. And I finally got around to Ocarina of Time, and I've been loving it. I've been pretty crazily, like, I've been looking forward to going to bed early so I can play it in bed for a little bit before bed. It's actually, like, it's genuinely a little bit scary. Like, some of the enemies in it are generally terrifying as well. And, like, I'm not even saying that in for a kid's game, it's a little bit spooky. I mean, genuinely, like, not scary, but, like, creepy. But, yeah, apart from that, like, I've been absolutely loving it.
So what's the general, like, backstory of the game then? Because from being a Legend of Zelda sort of noob, like, what's the sort of, main backstory? Like, Mario's obviously trying to rescue the princess. Like, what's the main sort of thing for Zelda? Or is it different
So you mean the actual storyline?
Yeah, like, what's the main sort of thing? Come on, you got to sell it to me. This is going to, see if you're going to make me try and play it or just leave it.
Okay. So the way it begins is you live in a village, but you are the only person in the village without a fairy. Okay? So obviously you're the subject of quite a lot of ridicule. And then there's the Deku tree. It's Deku tree? I'm probably insulting people by pronouncing that slightly wrong, but something along those lines. There's a big tree, and he says that there's this big bad thing coming, and, you
need
speak
a
to this
fairy.
tree, and then you set off on an adventure. Then there's someone called Ganondorf who is basically taking over the land. But the big thing about the Ocarina of Time is the fact that you kind of jump through time. So you start off as a kid and you see the world as it is, and then there's a point where you jump, I think it's 7 years forward, so you're now a grown-up. And then you can see how the world has changed in that time. Some towns have been destroyed and are now on fire, and some people have moved, and there was like a horse ranch, and like it's been taken over by someone else. So that's really interesting. But for an N64 game, it's like so big, and there's so many interesting things, and like there's a day-night cycle, and where people are and what they're doing like depends on the day and night. And I love games that just create a world that you spend a lot of time in and you get to know your way around, and it just all feels familiar. Like, I love it. Like an open world game, like a lot of open world games, you're just looking at a mini map, and then you see a waypoint and you just go to the waypoint, and everything in between is just whatever. Here there's like towns that you get to know, and I'm like, oh, I need to go and buy this potion. I know which shop I want to go to, and you really learn the world you're in and spend a lot of time in it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've enjoyed. And then the dungeons are pretty hit and miss. Some I've really enjoyed. Some have been a little bit painful. I think like some of the puzzles are, it's one of the first 3D games. So there's a lot of things that are outdated, mainly the camera controls, because obviously the N64 only had one analog stick. So you can't turn the camera at all.
Yeah.
You just move around and lock onto things. So that's, I've got used to it now, but, things have got better since then. So it's, far from a perfect game, but it has really held up really well. And I'm going into it with like no nostalgia. So I did my homework. That's my game. Can you think of anything you've played?
I've just been looking through my Steam thing. I've been playing a lot of VR games, but as I said, that's not really anything different. But I don't know, there's not really been a game out that's really kind of gripped me as...
You can look at old games. You can go through, look through mobile games. Come on. You're not getting a pass for this semester. You've failed your homework.
One of the things that is coming out is that they're relaunching the... God, what console is it now that they're giving a reboot to Nintendo? Is it
so there's the NES
the
Classic
SNES?
Mini. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, so it's not the SNES, because that's the Super NES. So they're doing the... I'd love it if they did the SNES as well. So it's the NES. So it's basically a mini... I mean, it's not even a mini NES. It looks like an NES, but it's a new console. It's basically running kind of basically the Wii U. It's like because the Wii U has the virtual console, which allows you to download these old games. So it's essentially that, but there's no online connection. So it's just 30,
30 games.
Ports of NES games, and it's just got an HDMI port you plug to the TV, and then mini versions of the NES controller. So it looks good. I pre-ordered it today.
Cool. So I guess have they kind of redesigned the old games to go on it, or is it literally just as they were? Like, was it a reboot sort of thing?
So the big difference is it's going for a HDMI cable now. So it's not like, they're in they're in HD, but the clarity is going to be better.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, the games are the same. You can do save points now. A lot of the older games didn't have save points. You'd have
like a memory card.
I don't know if anyone is old enough reading this to remember this, but you used to get passwords. You'd get to a point in the game, and it would give you a code you need to remember and write down to save it. Now you can do saves whenever you want, just from the console, like restart points basically. So they've improved things a little bit, and the list of games they're pretty much all the ones you would have wanted. It's all they got the Mario's on there, they got Zelda, they got Metroid, they got Castlevania, so they've ticked the boxes that people would want ticked for the games on there, and it just looks cool. I just want it under my TV because it looks cool, and it's like £40 or something.
Really?
It's like less than the price of a game. So and you get a controller with that and the HDMI cable, so it looks like a good deal.
Yeah, that's really good. That is really, really, really good. That's crazy. I remember the old memory cards as well that you used to be able to put in the PlayStation 1 to save the games. That was like the next thing up.
The 8 megabyte memory cards,
and they were
that cost like
as well.
£40.
They're absolutely huge.
I hated them. I hated those because they were like... there'd be times where you'd be like, I need to save my game. I need to delete the save data from an old game because I can't afford another 8 megabyte memory card, and then you'd lose it or forget it. I hated them. Like that was one of the big things. Like the first console with a proper hard drive was the Xbox, the original Xbox, and that was like luxury. Like I was like, I can load all of my CDs onto this console. It was unbelievable in the day.
I remember that. I just remember getting it for Christmas and having that bright green menu and just having a multimedia section where you could play your music and stuff like that.
It was cool. I remember the intro. It looked like Flubber, didn't it? Going in the middle of the screen. That was exciting. Because I completely regretted it, but I traded in my PS2 broke. But I had the most ridiculous library of games, all that I got secondhand. Yeah, I don't know how many. I probably had about 70 or 80 games for the PS2.
Yeah,
and so I think I'd gone through about 3 of them, and they all broke. And so I was like, right, I really want to get Halo because my friends had Halo, and I'd play it around theirs, but I wanted it, so I traded in all my PS2 games and got a brand new Xbox and probably about 12 Xbox games. And for at that time, I was the happiest guy alive, so I got 12 new games and stuff. But in the end, I was like, I really wouldn't mind playing some of my old PS2 games again. I kind of a little bit regret that.
Do you have a favorite then between the PS and the Xbox? Now you have both. Overall.
What do you mean, Xbox One and PS4?
No, I'm talking about the whole sort of, from start to finish, from the original PS to the original Xbox to now. What?
As a whole, whatever. They're free. They all had 3 very different consoles. So PS2, Xbox era. Despite Halo, you got to go PS2 because they had just such a good library of games. Then I think Xbox 360 and PS3, I definitely go Xbox 360. The online was just so much better. The controller was, in my opinion, infinitely better than the PS3 one, and games generally ran better on it. The games were developed for 360 then ported to PS3, so they always ran better on 360. And now, this generation, I think's the closest one. I'm slightly leaning PS4.
Yeah,
but
so am I.
with the recent updates, the Xbox One has got way better than it was. It's just slightly less reliable, I think.
I mean, I think the
PS4.
thing that's really stood the time is the 360, because, you know, for like how the Xbox One's been out for quite a while now, and me and Stamps still use the 360 for pretty much everything that we do. I know you've got a couple series on the Xbox One, but generally speaking, we basically, you know, use it quite a lot, don't we, compared to the Xbox One?
So my most used console is the Xbox 360, and then after that is the PlayStation Vita. So like, I'm living in the. I've still got my PS3 set up for some reason.
Really?
Like, set up to record. Yeah, I got them all in a row, just ready to use. Because there was a time when there's so many good indie games on the PS3. That's where it really stood out.
Yeah.
There's kind of these, you know, games like Journey, The Unfinished Swan. Rain was another good one. There was that Puppeteer game I remember you played. Like those kind of games, that's where the PS3 was really good at. And the PS4 is as well, but now the Xbox One has some amazing games of that size. You know, things like Ori and the Blind Forest, you know, is amazing. Inside is a game I played. That was really good as well. So
yeah, I actually downloaded that.
It's a good time to be a gamer.
Did you finish Inside?
Yeah, it's only like 3 hours or something.
Oh, okay. Well, I downloaded it for the Xbox because it was out before on the Xbox and the PC, so... Yeah,
just a warning about that game though. Like, I'm not, you know, obviously there's people listening to this podcast of all different ages.
Yeah,
it's a very gruesome, and you know, it's a very disturbing game, much like Ocarina of Time. It's
not on the same level.
Just a warning for that game. Like, I don't, you know, definitely like that. That is a game where the age restriction is very valid.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it's the same guys that made what is it now?
Limbo.
Yeah, that was an amazing game as well. Really cool art style, but yeah, really enjoyed that game. But yeah, also I wanted to talk about. We mentioned this a few podcasts episodes ago, and it was the Sea game that you made.
Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
You don't know the name of any games. The Sea game.
That's all I know.
I love the way you start describing these things, and then like, let me just ask the nerdy encyclopedia Stampy.
If
like,
I say
one
one
too
word,
much time in Wikipedia.
It never fails though. Like, I say one word and you know what game I'm on about. So.
Oh, we should do that. Okay, say what you were gonna say, and then we should do that.
Okay. No, so I was just... So I think they tweeted Stamps after we sort of released the podcast, and they were saying, oh, thanks for giving us the shout-out or whatever, but it wasn't anything like that. You were just saying it because you enjoyed the game. But, yeah, I just basically... I did a little bit of research. Didn't really look at the name because Stamps is here, but I managed to watch a few trailers, and it looks actually amazing. It looks really good. It looks so amazing, so I can't wait. When does it come out, that?
I don't think it's got a release date.
I
might be. Let me look it up now because I don't want to say that in case it does one. I'm almost certain though it doesn't have a release date. Yeah, so it's Sea of Thieves we're talking about. It's like a really cool open world co-op pirate game.
We should definitely
record
really amazing.
That. So yeah, we were chatting about it. It was just when I got back from E3, and I was kind of saying that it was my favorite game that I saw at E3. And then it was the lead designer tweeted us saying like, "Thanks for the kind words." So I wonder if they actually listened to the podcast or someone told them. I'm sure someone had to tell them about it. I'm sure that they're not sitting down listening.
We need to record that though. I really want to be the captain and have Stamps shooting cannons at people.
I want to be the captain. We could have like a duel to decide. Anyway, so yeah, the release date just says 2017. So I was right. There's
okay.
So next year. We got to wait for.
You know what's going to happen?
I mean, it's a big
though.
game. It will take a lot of time to make.
You know what's going to happen? Somebody will see the trailer at E3, and then they will basically try to recreate as fast as they can on Steam before it comes out. That's what happens with every single game. Some like small developer tries to get in there and take the idea.
A little rip off of it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's do the game then.
The game?
You're gonna test me. So you need to give me like start describing a game with first a tiny amount of information and then say more and see how quickly. See if I can beat the viewers. You got to try and shout it out before me.
Okay. So it's an old game. Or...
Oh, I know. Tetris.
No.
If that was right though.
And you are flying through hoops.
Star Fox.
Nope.
Okay.
And it came out on the GameCube, I believe, and then it went to I first played it on the Dreamcast. Do you want me to begins with K?
I don't know if I even know it. What is it?
Knights.
No, I never played it.
Oh.
The encyclopedia of knowledge has failed.
Oh,
404 error, can't find page.
We'll do another one. I make this one easier. Right, so you are a young, willing photographer.
Pokemon Snap.
Hey! It was like the only sort of picture.
Right, I'm going to do one for you.
Okay.
It's going to be a really tricky one, okay? An Italian plumber.
Mario!
I love if you got it wrong. Sonic, obviously. Right, we'll do one more each to each other, and then we'll move on from video game chat.
Oh, this is kind of fun. Come on, give me one.
Okay, do another one for you. Okay, can't think of it. I just pull a blank now when I try and think of a game. Like I'm trying to think of games that, like, I need to know that you have played.
Yeah.
So. Let me. I'm looking around my room, so I got like a bunch of stuff on my shelves.
Anything? Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go, because I can't think of any video games.
You can't think of any video games? Right, okay, so you are on a random world. You are the ruler of the world, kind of like a god, and you have to.
Civilization or something?
Nope. You have to then convert random wild men around you, train them up as troops, and take over the...
It's not like, so is it like a real-time strategy game, or you're not allowed to say? Is it like Age of Empires or something?
Close, you're on the right lines. Think
like
more...
Warcraft? Like Warcraft 1, 2, or 3 or something?
Think
StarCraft?
Think more sci-fi, sort of. Not really. Yeah, it's more sci-fi. So you're a god.
Halo Wars? Definitely not StarCraft.
Like, older, I think.
Older than StarCraft?
I think.
StarCraft's pretty old.
Is it? Okay, if I say one thing, you'll know what it is. They also made Black and White.
It's got to be a Bullfrog game, doesn't it?
Yep.
So it's not like... Is it like SimCity or something?
Nope. Okay, so there's basically a load of gods. You always have an enemy on the map, and you start off with literally nothing. You can cast spells. You can.
Oh, is it like Populous or something? Is that it? There we go.
You got there.
I got there eventually. The cogs were
one
turning.
of my favorite games, actually.
The first thing I thought of was there's a game called Godos.
Yes, I played that.
Did you? Okay, so yeah, because that's Peter Molyneux. That's the same guy who did it. But I was like, I'm pretty sure Squid wouldn't think of that, because it's not like a huge game or anything.
So have you ever played Populous?
No. I'm just aware of it.
One of my favourite games of all time. I put so many hours into that game. Populous the beginning, if you ever find it online, or if you ever can get a copy of it or whatever, I don't know if you will be able to, or an emulator, that might be the best option. But honestly, you need to play it. It's the best, one of the best games. So good.
Okay, I'm going to do... So this is one of my favourite games on... Actually, I won't tell you what it's on, but I don't know if you know it. Hopefully you do, though, because if you don't, you should play it, and that's going to be your homework. Right, so... Monkey?
Island?
No. Good. That was quick, though. Time travel is a big clue.
Monkey and time travel?
Monkey and time travel are two of the things that I think of.
It wasn't Monkey Island, though.
It wasn't Monkey Island.
Monkey and time.
There's 3 games in the series.
Monkey.
It's on the PlayStation 2. All 3 of the games.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever played.
There's guns in it.
And there's a monkey.
And you can throw bricks in it. If you want.
If you want.
Have you ever played Time Splitters?
Yeah, I think so. I was going to say that, actually.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was going to... All the ones I got wrong, I was going to say the answer. Then I decided to not say the answer. But yeah, I love Time Splitters.
I only
Time
played it.
Splitters was the game that made me get a PS2, playing that around a friend's house.
Wasn't it on an arcade machine? Somewhere.
I think you're thinking of Time Crisis.
Oh, yeah, that might be it. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
it's
don't think
like
I
a
played Time
light gun
Splitters. Wait, I
game.
want to Google it, actually, now, just to make sure that I haven't played it.
So it was made by Free Radical, who got bought by Crytek, so that they worked on some of the Crysis games and stuff. It's got such a cool art style. It's crazy. So basically, everyone can be these crazy characters. Like you can be like a robot with a fish tank for a head, or like a giant duck, or a monkey. Is kind of one of the famous ones.
So it's kind of like Overwatch.
Well, kind of, but there's I think there's something like 170 characters or something. These really, and they all got like their own like lines, but you know they don't play completely differently. Like they can have stats for how fast they run and stuff, but I normally just turn that off. But then there's like a million weapons and they're crazy, and like the single player is amazing. Oh, it's so good. I really want a new one. They were going to make another one, but then they didn't, and I'm angry.
Write them an angry letter, Stamps. Tell them how angry you are.
I will do. I really liked your thing, and I want more of it.
I wonder what they're doing now. I wonder if have they made any other games since, the developers, or?
Yeah, well, so as I said, they were bought by Crytek, who made originally Far Cry and then like and Crysis as well. And so they worked on like the multiplayer side of some of the Crysis games, but I wasn't the biggest fan of them. So yeah, it's not. You know, that was all a serious, you know, sci-fi and a super suit type battling, you know, rather than a monkey throwing bricks.
I did like Far Cry though. That was really good.
Everyone's been eagerly waiting to hear the resolution of the breakfast situation, Squid.
The what?
The breakfast situation. Seriously, it was a week since the last podcast. It's like it never happened to you. You've got no memory
I do
whatsoever,
a lot of stuff in
you?
between.
Yeah, I know, but I think I edited the podcast this week, so to be fair,
you've got a refresh memory.
Yeah, the other day, so I guess that's probably why. So remember, I didn't know what to have for breakfast.
Do you know how much rubbish I chat during the week, Stamps? I can't remember every single like thing.
I'm fully aware. I record several videos with you, Squid. I'm very accustomed to the
the breakfast situation. Did you do the toasted tea cakes? I remember now.
But no, I didn't. But I tried something new for breakfast today.
Was it a monkey throwing some bricks?
So it was an unexpected choice. I've been having, you know, like the marshmallow square things.
I beg your pardon?
So not marshmallows, but you know, there's like the square. It's like rice or something, or like marshmallow squares.
Do you know what
squares?
you're eating? Do you just shove it? What? Rice
squares. They're called squares, aren't they?
Squares.
Google search.
I think I know what they are, but I don't think they're not marshmallow, are they?
Well, they're like.
It's just rice, isn't it? It's just like rice Krispies,
like there's
but
like rice
gooey.
with like. It's like gooey, gooey marshmallow stuff on them.
How many did you have of them for breakfast?
Just one.
What? That fills you up?
Well, I'm all right so far. What time is it? It's like 4:30 now. It's kept me going till now.
What? How? You're like a mouse. How do you? I know you don't eat a lot, but I can't believe that fills you up.
Well, it was. I mean,
They
I
need
might
to send
have
you to
another
space,
one.
mate. Honestly.
But the thing is, I woke up quite late, and then like I ate it just before the pod. Like I was getting hungry, and I ate it just before the podcast.
What time did you get up then?
I don't know, probably about like 11.
Oh, okay.
But I was up really late last night working, so I've had a bad over the weekend. I think I probably had to scrap about 13 videos that went wrong.
Oh my.
It was awful. I got no videos recorded over the weekend, and I tried the whole time.
I had the weekend
I kept having
off.
things going wrong, like even though I was recording on PS4, and then like I got signed out, and then like lost like a load of things, and then I was recording on 360, and just it kept going wrong. People were lagging out the game. I had a bad weekend for recording.
So did you get any videos done this weekend?
No, I got some, like I wrote some scripts for. So I've been doing I did like a top 10 mini games in my Funland video last weekend.
Yeah.
Yesterday for you, for Squid. So like I got that video like edited.
Yep.
But I didn't record it, and now today it would have gone up live. I did like a top 10 buildings in my town. I don't know if that's what it's going to be called, but I did that as well. So people really loved the Funland one though. People loved it.
Sweet, man. Was that on your main channel or?
Yeah, so I decided. So originally I was going to do it on my second channel, but I was like, why not? Like this is. If I do it on my, people are going to miss it. So I knew that it would appeal to more people. So I did it on my main channel. I spent a lot of time doing I tried to edit it properly, because when I was doing it on my second channel, it's a lot more casual, whatever. So I tried to tighten up the editing and get the pace up and get good music and like a proper countdown and stuff. So that went up. People enjoy. You got like 10K likes in like an hour or something. I don't normally look at likes. It was only because people were talking about that in the comments, So that was good. And then everyone was kind of sharing their like top 10 mini games in the comments, so that was good. I was really happy about that. And then hopefully people are going to like the top 10 buildings, and seeing as they liked it, I might kind of extend it and do like top 10 redstone contraptions, or like top 10 hit the target episodes, or something like that, and see whether people get bored of it or not.
Yeah.
Because I love doing that.
Did it get a better response than your normal Lovely World stuff, or?
Like like it was new. It was it was new, so people were like, "Oh, this is cool. This is different." So I don't know if it's like, "Oh,
first thing
I prefer this." You know what I mean? It was talking about top 10 things that I've done in my lovely world. It's not like I could replace it. You know, I'd run out very quickly. My top 10 dirt blocks. You know, like what? But yeah, people enjoyed it more than I thought they would, so that was good. And it's fun looking back at stuff like that as well. And I was going back to really old videos. You were in it quite a lot. It was a lot of old MIDI games where back when you used to be a Minecraft helper. So there's clips of you and stuff in there. So people liked. There's lots of nostalgia, all the feels. I remember this. There's a lot of comments like that as well.
Awesome, man. That sounds really good. But like you said, it's one of them things where, I mean, I guess it could be. Because you basically building it so much that I guess, it could be something that you could update, maybe like once a year or whatever to see what's changed.
Well, I was thinking, because I thought about that, but I reckon that even in a year, it would be too similar. So I'm thinking maybe like every 4 years. Because it took me 4 years to make that one. So I'm going to wait another 4 years and then I'll do another one.
2020.
2000. Put it in your diaries. Stampylonghead.com.
Do you still think you'll be making Lovely World videos in 2020?
I think it's unlikely. I don't know. Anytime I say anything like that, people are like, "Oh no, it's ending." It's like I'm not planning to end it, but I feel it's unlikely I'll do it for another 4 years. I've always thought that I reckon I'll get to 1,000 episodes. I think.
What you want to know?
I think that it would take a lot of effort for me to make episode 1,001. I think.
Yeah.
Because then what? Am I going to wait till 5,000 after that? Like 2,000 doesn't sound as good. Like I feel like I've planned the ending though. I've planned like this week. I planned the final episode of My Lovely World. Like I'm not ending it. It's not ending. But when it does end, I know how it's going to end.
Wow, it's crazy. Wait, so what are you on now? What number are you on?
I don't even know. I'm like 400 and something, I think.
And that's taken you how long?
So that's about, I think it's just over 4 years.
So you're going to have to go for another 4 years then?
I guess.
You are going to be making it in 2020, otherwise you're not going to get to 1,000.
At the beginning, I wasn't doing 2 videos a week.
Okay, well, let's do the maths, right?
Let me work out exactly what episode I'm on. So I'm on episode 427. Well, it's going to be slightly past that when people are listening to this. But as we're recording, episode 427 was my last one.
Right, so there's 52 weeks in a year. Okay, so that means you'll get 104 episodes out every year.
Okay, so it's pretty much 100 a year then. So, of course, closer to 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I'm going to lose my voice. Like the thing is, at some point, I'm going to run out of ideas. Like at some point, I'm not going to be able to come up with a new mini game. Like at some point, every item has been combined with every other item. Like it's there has to be a limit in the game of ideas. Surely, I've done a post office, I've done a fire station. At the end, what am I going to be building? Like a shop where you buy bongo drums. Like what? I'm going to have to get more and more far-fetched with my ideas as I've done everything obvious.
It's so scary. That's scary though, isn't it? Like you've spent four and a bit years on it. It's crazy.
It's been a long project, and it is still largely a project for myself as well. Like I've always said that I'll be doing videos probably long after anyone cares about watching them.
Yeah, but then again, that's when you know that you're passionate about making videos. That's when you know you're in it for the right reasons. Even if not as many people are not watching it anymore, you still have a passion for creating something and sharing it. So
exactly, that's and it was the same for both of us. We were both doing that. When that was all there was. It wasn't like, are you doing it because you're passionate or you want money? It's like, well, we had no expectation of making money. We were just passionate about making videos. And I think that people think once you've been able to make a career as a YouTuber, something changes, but it doesn't. I think if anything now, a lot of the people you see starting out have are going in with that motivation, and all of the people that are YouTubers just don't care. Like it's there was a point where I was kind of view counting a bit and making sure thinking about what is successful and stuff, and I realized that was sapping all the fun out of YouTube. So I made a conscious decision, right, just don't care, make videos, don't even look at it, it's And then since then, you know, I'm not getting the same views that, you know, as I know I could, but like, I'm loving it, you know, like every morning I wake up and I'm like looking forward to making videos, you know, which is worth so much more than getting, you know, an extra few hits and likes on YouTube.
Yeah, which is what it should be. And then, you know, when you come towards the end of it and everything starts progressively going lower and lower, you still have the same sort of passion, and it's not too much of a, you know, a kick in the teeth.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Just
like,
keep doing it. You know, you're not losing out. You know, like I know that, you know, I'm going to want to move on and do something else as a career. You know, I've done this for a long time. I feel like I get YouTube. You know, there's going to be other things I want to do, but you know, I'm going to keep doing YouTube because that's what I love doing. But this is very relevant. There's a comment which I read earlier, which is directly related to what we're talking about. So can I? It's quite a long comment, but can I read this out?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So this was written by Amy, and I can't pronounce the other person's name. So sorry, it's Amy. It's I-C-A-H. Do you know how to pronounce that?
I-C-A-H.
Is it Ica? Ica, is that right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I see. So sorry I can't pronounce your name, but I think it's Amy and Ica. Okay? And so they say, hello, Squid and Stampy. First of all, thank you for being such great influences towards everybody and putting smiles on people's faces. And I promise I'm not just reading this comment because of the opening, but but then they go on to say, for the last few weeks, my daughter, who is 4 years old, said she wanted me to film her so she can make videos like Stampy and Squid, but in her own way, because she wants to make people happy. I have a bunch of short clips of her introducing herself, dancing, singing, making crafts, and playing games. And also her saying bye and asking people to give a like at the end. My question is, how old is too young to start YouTube?
It's a good question. I don't think there is a too young. I think parents should get involved until the person or the child is old enough to, you know, take on a certain amount of negativity. That might sound bad, but when you put yourself online, there is going to be, you know, negativity, and you don't want, you know, your child or your kid or whatever, you know, posting stuff online and then having to deal with that. They don't need that in their lives when they're growing up. So I don't think there really is an age. If they have a passion about making videos, then the parents should really...
I mean, we're talking about a 4-year-old here. Like, that is kind of the first age where a child would be physically able to make a video and understand it properly.
Yeah.
Like, well, not even properly, you know, understand enough about it to want to do it.
Yeah.
So, I guess what advice would you give to a parent who has a 4-year-old? Let's be specific on that age.
Okay.
That says,
well, what advice
I want to do
I'd
YouTube.
give is, it probably isn't a good idea to start uploading to YouTube straight away, but I definitely think if they're wanting you to film them, maybe store that away. Maybe you know, film them doing what they want to do, and once they get old enough to make a conscious decision whether they want to do it or not, that's really good footage to have for them to kind of to share with the world if they want. So, you know, if they're asking you to film them or whatever, you know, obviously don't put it online straight away, but keep it to yourself. It's good memories. It's good fun. Especially as you as a parent, and then just keep it as kind of like a database of footage, and I'm sure the person or the kid or whatever will feel happy for you storing it for them until they're old enough to know what to do with it. Even if it is embarrassing, it'll make a funny clip later on. But yeah, that's what I think you should do.
So what about the fact that she's all, you know, as a 4-year-old, she's asking people to give her a like at the end of the video. So I mean, something that I'm always worried about is coming across too preachy, because, like, I mean, I kind of did it I did a Let's Talk About, I think it's talking about family-friendly content. I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if it was called that. And in it, I kind of say that this is what I've chose, but, you know, people that don't want to do that, that's fine. And anyone can do what they want in YouTube. But there have been times when I've seen, you know, videos of, you know, very young children making YouTube videos, and you can see directly their influences, and you can see how they're, you know, imitating their favorite YouTubers, you know, who aren't making kid-friendly content. You know, you can see, you know, the fact that she's asking for a like, but probably doesn't really fully understand what that means. I mean, that is just such an obvious sign of, you know, how much, you know, we, you know, and, you know, YouTubers, you know, people in the spotlight like, celebrities and YouTubers are, that just shows how much of an influence we have that a 4-year-old is already saying that, which, I don't know, that's the kind of the time where I feel like it's all right if I can be a little bit preachy and kind of say a few things about how you should be, because if we're influencing the next generation in a way, I feel like that goes beyond, you do your thing, I do my thing, I'm not going to tell you how to do your channel. I feel like, if you're negatively putting a bad image out, or, giving bad advice, or, doing actions that, kids might copy, whether it's in their videos or in real life, I feel like that is the point where, maybe someone standing in and saying something, might be more important. Because, there's regulations about that on television, in a cartoon, even cartoon violence, there's certain things they can do and certain topics that have to be tackled in a certain way. There are restrictions, which there aren't on the internet. And I don't know, like, anytime people say about any restrictions on the internet, people say it's a bad thing, free speech, internet freedom. But I don't know, what do you think about it?
It is a tough kind of situation, but again, I think it boils down to parenting as well. If you're going to have your child watch YouTube at a certain age, then, make sure you try and watch over them and just kind of see what they're watching. If it's not friendly and it's not age appropriate for them, then don't make them watch it. It's just, there's not a lot on YouTube.
But you can't. That's an impossible task for a parent. If
If
a child wants to watch a certain video, whether they do it at school or around their friend's house or on their phone, like there's no way, unless you're sitting over their shoulder all the time, that you can't restrict in that way. Like that's not. That's not logical. That's not possible.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about a certain age. I'm talking like. If it's a 4-year-old or whatever, then they can really sort of monitor what they're watching and stuff like that. If they're getting like an iPad or they're watching it wherever, then it's so hard because YouTube doesn't really ask for a sort of like a PG approach. There's no sort of thing before a video saying this has got a certain age rating. It's from the get-go. If you click on a certain video, then you never know really what you're gonna get. That I think that's something that lies within YouTube. If you're a channel where it's got a certain amount of content, and maybe they should start doing what movies doing and having a certain age rating on the channel.
Yeah, but I mean, when you can put age restrictions on, but I think it's just the fact that everything's in the same place. Like, you click on the video and it might say there's an age restriction.
Yeah.
And obviously it's easy enough to get around that. I'm just going to make an account and say I'm 18, no big deal. But also the fact that it can come up recommended, it can come up in the searches. You can search for something and then, one video pops up, which isn't appropriate. You search in Minecraft and it, could be, you don't know if it's going to be one of our videos or, one of the Yogscast, and it's, nothing against the Yogscast, but they don't do kid-friendly content, but, it's all in the same place. I think it's so easy to stumble into things. And then obviously, if the child does have access to the internet and they do want to particularly seek something out, no matter what restrictions are there, you can get around them, like it's, I remember at school, where the internet was completely restricted and you could only go on certain sites, but, we always got around it. There was always something you could do, like it's, I don't envy parents nowadays.
It is a tricky spot. It is a tricky thing. But like Stamp says, if they really want to watch it, there's always going to be ways around it, which kind of sucks. But
I think the only thing it can fall down to is the individual, the YouTubers. It has to fall down to those individuals and what they want to do. You know, and I don't know, because you don't want to censor people or restrict them, there's people of all ages and types of people that are going to watch. The problem is that, the people that are making adult content, still, I believe a lot of them, the majority of the people are under 18 watching them. Like that's the majority of their fan bases, even if they're making videos and they say it's for adults, the majority of people watching them, are kids.
Yeah, definitely.
so that's kind of the, it is going to be interesting to see, what happens in the future with that stuff. Anyway, I feel like we talked about this for quite a while. Are you ready for your Squiddy tip?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
This is a good one as well. So it's probably the most serious one we've had, but But I mean,
You mean more
which
serious
isn't saying much.
how to eat a remote?
But it's genuinely one that I would like help with because it is a problem that I have. Okay.
Okay.
So this is suggested from Lucy, and she says, "I really need help. I'm trying to eat my sandwich, but everything is falling out. Help me, please, Squid. # feeling empty."
Ah, common problem, common problem, Stamps. Do you have this problem with it as well?
Oh, I hate it. So my worst thing are burgers. If I order a burger and I can't pick it up with my hands and just eat it like a burger, and I have to chop it up and it all falls apart, then I'm an angry cat.
Well, the thing that like most restaurants do is that they try and use really rubbish cheese. So when you're trying to take a bite out of the sandwich, it does a rubbish job of holding the thing together. So my Squiddy tip for everyone that wants it is to try and get yourself some good quality rubbery cheese. Might not sound too good, Stamps, but I can assure you it's the best for holding sandwiches.
Well, I want to know,
and burgers.
I'm not talking about if I've made my own sandwich. Say I've been given a sandwich.
Yeah.
And it's just packed too much.
Yeah.
Then what should I do in that situation? How do I take bits out and discard them? Is there a way I can compact it together?
Yeah,
what should I do?
I mean, you can try and ask someone else for another plate and make a plate sandwich with your burger, and then try and sit on it for 5 or 10 minutes. That really helps compress it. But the thing that happens then is all the stuff kind of comes out of it. It's like and then everything just sprays out of it. So this is what I said for the rubbery cheese. Make sure you try and take some slices with you, and then you can make like a cocoon of cheese around the sandwich. So the filling tries to get out, but the cheese like melts rubberiness around the burger, and nothing can escape, Stamps. Nothing can escape. Other than that, a blender. Blend it.
Blend.
Just blend your burger and put it into a drink. I'm pretty sure they do that, don't they? Like a burger milkshake somewhere.
I bet. You know what? I bet they do, Squid.
Yeah.
I bet they do.
Or
I would
deep
not
fry it.
be
Can you
surprised.
ask for it deep fried?
I just feel like there should be a way to like vacuum seal it. You know, you like to turn it into a cube, or like maybe just really cool. You know those machines that like crush cars into cubes? A mini one for sandwiches, so you can just like just pop it in your mouth.
They normally try and like stick like toothpicks through it to hold it together, but that never really works.
Yeah, I know. Well, the problem is because you got to take the toothpick out to eat it, and it all falls apart. No, you can keep it well presented while you put it on my plate, but I've got to pick that thing up.
Maybe they should come up with some kind of... I've got it. Carrot sticks. But just enough. Just enough to pierce it through.
Go, I got it, Stamps. Carrot sticks.
Imagine you putting carrot sticks all the way around the outside of a burger, so it's holding it in like a steel girder. And then once you take the bite through it, everything else stays intact, and you get carrots.
Well, what about doing it like a donut? So you know that you get a donut where it's like sealed, but you have the filling inside?
Right.
So you have a bun, but rather than cutting it in half, you like put a tube in that sucks out some of the bread.
Oh, that'd be good.
And then you just like squirt in the filling.
Squirt in the burger.
And then toast it to seal the top, and then eat it that way. And then all of the fillings sealed inside.
Sounds nice. Sounds really nice, actually.
That sounds good. I'm going to make that. Well, that's what I'm going to have for breakfast.
We actually made one of them, which was really amazing. We had a breakfast little bun, they're called. So what you do, you know, like a bun tin, like circles, you cut out circles of bread. So you put bread circles in the bottom of these tins. Then what you do is you cook bacon. You put bacon strips around the outside. So you've got like a wall of bacon with the bread underneath. And then what you do is you crack an egg in the middle. You sprinkle some cheese and some salt and pepper on top, and you put them in the oven for 15 minutes. And then there's this perfect breakfast bun just come out. Oh, we made them the other day. They are delicious. They are amazing. Little breakfast bites, they are, Stamps.
That does sound good. I'm way too lazy to make anything like that, but that sounds good.
I didn't do it, Nicole did it, but...
Anyway, so we are running out of time. We've got just about time for a Stampy tip. So is there anything you want some tips about, Squid?
Yeah, how do I catch a Mewtwo?
Well, they're not in the game yet. So I was looking. So after I've had my, was it Dragonair? Dragonair. So after my Dragonair experience, I looked up online and I found out that it's in the epic class of rarity. which drove me crazy because it crashed. And then there's a list of Pokemon that aren't in the game. So Mewtwo's not in yet, Mew's not in, all the legendary birds aren't in, and Eevee's Ditto. They're just not available yet.
No, Ditto said that it was in, but no one's found it.
Well, according to a random picture I found online, it's not in, so I don't know, maybe it is. And then there's also some Pokemon which you can only get in different regions. So you can only get a Mimic in Europe, and then there's like...
A what?
I think... is it Mimic? Is it called Mimic?
What's a Mimic?
No, Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime.
Mimic?
I'm just making up Pokemon now. You can only get a Flutini, and then you can only get like, I think it's a Farfetch'd in America and stuff, so there's like region-specific Pokemon, which seems crazy considering you can't even trade them, so what are you going to do, just travel the world to go and get a Mr. Mime, you know?
That's insane.
It's cool, I love that region stuff, because even now, like, there are certain Pokemon that are more common in some places than others, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah, whenever we go
we just get loads of water Pokemon where we are, just because we're right in the sea, so I don't know.
Well, I need more Magikarp. I want to try and get a Gyarados, but...
we get loads of Magikarp. Like,
really?
Magikarps, like Poliwags, like the Goldines and stuff, the Star ones. We get loads of them, just because we're right, like, next to the ocean.
Jealous. So jelly. I need to try and get the Magikarps. We just get Hypnos around here. Hypnos and Drowsies. Like, we get the Drowsies near Costa, which just kind of works, because obviously the Drowsies are hanging around the Costa to get a bit of coffee so they can liven up. Stop feeling drowsy.
Oh dear. Anyway, so that is the end of episode 19 of the Magic Animal Club podcast. The next podcast, episode 20, is going to be a special musical one where Squid is going to be singing throughout the entire hour podcast. So make sure you come back to check that one out. But yeah, that's about it for this week. Anything else you want to say before we go?
If there's any requests for songs, let me know.
Okay, you're not even going to be singing what we're doing, just going to be singing songs. I'm going to be going on my normal rants, and then you're just going to break it up with the songs. Rather than our light jazz we normally have in the background, Squid's just going to be singing in the background.
I'll supply the light jazz on my tin whistle. So
that's the end of this week. I hope you all guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday and week to follow. But for now, we will see you all later.
Bye.